Okay. All right, here we go. So we are in chapter 7. It's called The Best News of the Century. Mitzi was smaller than Fudge, with long hair tied in a ponytail. She wore a baseball glove on her left hand. Mrs. A introduced us to her as soon as we got to the
So
house.
just worry about her, okay?
This
I
is
don't know how to
Fudge
do it.
Feather, she said,
So just worry about
and
her.
this is his big
Pay
brother.
attention.
She put her finger to her mouth and paused. Peter, I said, helping her out. I don't know why people can always remember Fudge's name, but not mine. Yes, Mrs. A said. Peter Feather. Feather's a funny name, Mitzi said. Actually, it's Hatcher, I told her, setting the record straight. But I thought your uncle's name is Feather, Mrs. A said. It is, Fudge told her. His first name is Feather, I explained, before things got any more confused. Feather Hatcher. Uncle Feather Hatcher. Oh, Mrs. A said, laughing. I get it now. So you're the Hatcher boys, not the Feather boys. That's right, I told her. I like Feather better, Mitzi said. And Fudge isn't a name, it's a candy. It's a name too, Fudge told her. Right, Pete? That's right, I said. Doesn't he have another name, Mitzi asked me. A real name? It's Farley, Fudge said. He stuck out his chin, daring her to say anything more. Farley, Mitzi said, opening her eyes really wide. That's a real name? Yes, Fudge said. Grandma, Mitzi said, is Farley a name? It's a beautiful name, Mrs. A said. There was once a handsome movie star named Farley Granger. She closed her eyes and kind of sighed. Then she went into the house to get us a snack. Sheila went with her. As soon as they were gone, Mitzi got shy. She looked at the floor on the porch. Then she looked at the ceiling. She socked her fist into a baseball glove to make pockets deeper, but she didn't say a word. Fudge watched her and hummed a little tune. He didn't have to say anything either. I decided it was up to me to get things going between them, so I said, That's a good looking baseball glove. I call it Mitzi, she said, hugging her chest. Big gave it to me. Who's Big? Fudge asked. My grandpa, Mitzi said. Big Apple. Big who? I asked. Sure, I misunderstood her. Big Apple, she said again. I couldn't believe this. I kneeled beside her and spoke very slowly. Are you telling us your grandfather is Big Apple, the baseball player? Mitzi nodded. I have his baseball card, I said. I know his stats by heart. You want to play in his game? Mitzi asked. His game? I said. She nodded again. We play every Sunday. Are you saying that anyone who wants to play ball with Big Apple can? You have to pass the over under test first. Well, what's the over under test? You have to be over 4 and under 104. And that's it? I asked. That's it, she said. Yahoo! I yelled, jumping so high I almost knocked over one of Mrs. A's hanging plants. This is the best news I've heard in a long time. Is it the best news of the century? Fudge asked. It could be, I told him, as I yahooed again. In a minute, all three of us were jumping up and down and yahooing all over the porch. That's when the perfect babysitter appeared, holding a pitcher of juice. I'm gone for 5 minutes, she said. 5 minutes, and look at you, carrying on like a bunch of monkeys. But, honey, Fudge said, it's the best news of the century. What's the best news of the century? Sheila asked. Who knows? Fudge said. I don't even know what a century is. I ran all the way home. As soon as I got there, I called Jimmy Fargo. I'm not supposed to make long distance calls without permission, but this was definitely a special occasion. I was still trying to catch my breath when Jimmy answered. Are you sitting or standing? I asked. Standing. Well, sit down. Okay, he said. I'm sitting. Where? I asked. What's the difference? I want to imagine how you look when I tell you the news. I'm sitting on the floor in the kitchen, Jimmy said, with my back against the refrigerator. Okay, I've got the picture. So what's the story? Jimmy asked. You're never going to believe who our neighbor is up here. I paused for a second, took a deep breath. Then I dropped the news. Big apple. Jimmy did something. You fainted, right? I said. No. But you're speechless. No. You don't believe me? I believe you, Jimmy said, but I don't get it. Did you say Big Apple is your neighbor or what? I said Big Apfel, Boston Red Sox, the greatest center fielder of all time. Ty Cobb was the greatest center fielder of all time, or maybe Willie Mays. I wasn't going to argue with Jimmy. Instead, I explained that this was a chance for us to play ball with one of the greats. I reminded him to bring his glove and his Mets captain name. Then I waited for him to say something. When he didn't, I asked, "Are you still there?" I strike out a lot, he finally said. Who doesn't? Probably Big Apple. We're not talking about the major leagues. We're talking about your basic Sunday ball game. Speaking of basic, Jimmy said, how's it going with Queen of Cooties? Ugh, I hardly ever see her. She's got a job babysitting. Well, that's a relief, Jimmy said. I didn't tell him who he was babysitting. I couldn't get to sleep that night. I kept thinking about Jimmy and me playing ball on Big Apple's team, but that reminded me that Jimmy still doesn't know we're sharing a house with the Tubmans. I have to come up with a good excuse, and soon, or I'll never hear the end of it from him. I tossed and turned as Fudge babbled in his sleep. I gave him a kick and he rolled over. After a while, I got out of bed and tiptoed down the hall to the bathroom. It's so quiet in the country and dark. In the city, it's never dark. You can always look out your window and see lights. It's never quiet either. You can hear the buzz of traffic even in the middle of the night. I used the toilet, then flushed, and that's when it came to me. The perfect excuse for sharing a house with the Tubmans. I flushed it again and imagined myself telling Jimmy the long, sad story. I'd say, see, when we first got to Maine, we moved into this big old house. It had 7 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and you could see the ocean from every window. But unfortunately, there was a big problem. What problem? Jimmy would ask. Poison gas, I'd say. Poison gas in all the toilets. Green, steamy, gurgling stuff that bubbled up every time we flushed. Black, Jimmy would say, making a terrible face. Dad had to call the health inspector, I'd continue. She took one look and went nuts. This is a disaster, she cried. This is a serious environmental disaster. So then what? Jimmy would ask, biting his nails. She condemned the place. Even though she was sorry about ruining our vacation, she had no choice. The police came and boarded up our house. They nailed a sign to the front door. Warning, poison gas in toilets. Flush at your own risk. Wow, Jimmy would say, you're lucky you got out alive. And I'd say, yeah, I know. A brilliant story. I told myself as I turned out the bathroom light. Jimmy's very big on environmental issues. He's got posters all over his room. Save the whales, save the dolphins, save the rainforest. So he'll understand that the Tubmans were just trying to save our vacation when they let us share their house. I went back to my room and got into bed. This time I had no trouble falling asleep. All right, and that is the end of chapter 7. So we will see what happens in chapter 8. I think you'll like chapter 8. It's called Fudgemania. And that is the same as the title of our book, Fudgemania. Okay. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and show you what we have going on today in Schoology. So today this should actually work. All right, can somebody just let me know either in the chat or take yourself off mute really quick, let me know that you can see my Schoology page?
I can see it.
Perfect.
I can see it.
Thank you.
I can't.
So,
Mrs.
what's up?
I can't see it. I can't.
Who's saying I can't?
Me, Liam Martin.
All right, Liam. What does your screen look like?
Now I can see it.
Okay, sometimes it just takes a second to load. James, are you in the car?
No, I'm with work. I'm working with my dad at his work where he drives around delivering fruits and vegetables, and I'm helping.
Super cool. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Right
I appreciate
now,
it.
where are we then?
In Maryland.
We're in Maryland.
Oh, that is so
Right
cool.
now.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining our live session. That's so cool. Okay, so for our discussion question this morning, it's called Tasty Tuesday. So like I said yesterday, these are a bit different than normal. So I want you to share something healthy that you like to eat. So it could be a fruit, could be a vegetable, maybe it's a recipe that you want to share with us. So you can, like Liam did down here, he said, I love to eat strawberries, and Riley said, I love to eat blueberries for a snack, yummy. Maybe you like to do something to your strawberries. Like I really like strawberries with a little sugar on them, okay? So maybe you can go over here to our Flipgrid and share your healthy snack idea, okay? Or you can just type it, it's up to you. And then in math today, we're going to be talking about telling time. So that's why it's important when I ask you, what time is it? So we're going to start talking about time. Now, guys, a lot of you yesterday used the interactive worksheets, the wiserme.com, which is awesome. Please don't forget that you need to scroll down to the bottom of your worksheet and hit submit. Okay, so some of us yesterday, like I think Nathan and a couple other people, you guys can hit submit. Okay, so I can't see it if you don't hit submit. So make sure you scroll down all the way to the bottom and hit submit. Okay. I will put the Brain Pop video over in our Schoology page if Brain Pop isn't working again. And then for science today, 1 second, let me finish this, okay? And then for science,
I found a new way if Brain Pop isn't working.
We're talking about Earth Day again.
You will arrive at your destination.
Sorry. So we're talking about Earth Day again. So this one has a lot of videos, a lot of fun stuff to do. Check that out. And then for our discussion question that I need you to answer, remember this is the important one, it's what did you learn today? Answer the following question in 3 complete sentences. So it wants you to know what time is on the clock. So look at the clock, see what time it is. What would you be doing at that time in the AM? And what would you be doing in the PM? What is AM again? Somebody remind us. AM. Somebody take themselves off mute and tell me what AM is.
In the morning. AM is in the morning.
Good. AM is in the morning and PM is in the
afternoon.
Good. In the afternoon. So it wants you to tell me what you're doing in the morning and what you're doing at night at this time on the clock.
We're gonna hit the car.
Okay.
Pay attention to your teacher.
All right. Oh, and then the last thing I want to show you that I forgot to talk about yesterday till the very end. This week's Flipgrid. Guys, if you can go ahead and mute yourself just for a couple more seconds so I can explain this and everybody can hear me, that would be great. All right. This week's Flipgrid is really important. On Friday, May 1st, it is Principal Appreciation Day. So that means we're going to say thank you to Mr. Arts for everything he does for us. So I have 5 friends who already made a Flipgrid video. Boys and girls, can you please mute yourself? If you're talking in the background, please mute yourself. Thank you. So I would like if everybody could join us in this Flipgrid to say something to Mr. Arts. A lot of friends just said, thank you, Mr. Arts. Brady kind of went a little deeper and told him what he was thankful for. I think Liam did too. So whatever you want to do, you can do a little video for Mr. Arts. He'd really appreciate that. And I'm going to send that to him on Friday. So you have from now till Friday to do that. Okay. All right. Let's. Does anybody have any questions about the interactive worksheets? Yesterday or today?
No.
No questions today?
Hey, James.
All right, we're going to go ahead. I will turn this over to you guys. You have about 3 or 4 minutes. We can chat a little bit, and then we'll get started.
I'm gonna say bye. I'll be out, Dad.
Hey, James,
Well,
I have a question for you.
what?
How's it in Maryland for?
Where's Liam going? He left his computer on. Guys, I really need to go help Dad for a second. It's okay. Bye.
Bye, James. Have a good day, buddy.
Hi, Brady. You're going to talk. I got 2 guitars up here.
You're fat? That was real quick. Hey. Bum, 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 bum. I got Darth Vader, baby. Actually, a little stuffy.
Brady,
Yeah.
today is my mom and dad's anniversary, so I'm gonna hang up.
Bye, Liam. Have a good day, bud.
My birthday passed. There's a lot of people hanging up.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and hang up for the morning. So you can hit your red hang up button. I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for all coming. That's awesome. Tomorrow
guys.
we'll talk some more. Okay, bye, guys. Enjoy the sunshine. It's beautiful outside.
See you tomorrow,
Bye.
Miss Case.
Sounds good, Troy. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Mason.
Bye.